How the heck you doing this fine day? What a week. I thought today or this week would be the week that I would get back into the swing of things following our most amazing wedding. Great news is we got photos from the wedding this week, and our photographer, Kirsten, did such a great job. The thing that I loved about it is she stuck around and she captured so many cameos or so many candid photos of our guests at the wedding, and just being in that room was I'm still kind of basking in the afterglow of the wedding. But the things that happened this week did their best to puncture that balloon of joy. Didn't completely succeed, but we did have a little bit of a tough week. I thought I'd get back into the swing of things. As I said, this is the week I wanted to get back to work and get back on the computer and start getting back into the publishing sequence of videos, etc., etc. But Farley stepped in just when things were going well. Of course, he had his knee surgery. He's been on the mend, doing quite well. But this week, he decided, for some unknown labradoodle reason, to eat, as they say in the fancy terms of the veterinary clinic, to ingest. He ate a rag. He ate a dish rag. Now, he's eaten a lot of different things in the past. He's eaten underwear and socks, paper for some reason. He's eaten feminine hygiene products. A long story, it's not a pleasant one. It's all come out the other side. I know this because I often assist its exit from the other side. But this didn't come out. It passed through into his lower intestine. Part of it passed into his bowel, but then his bowel was trying to pull the rest of it out. It was a serious situation. He had the surgery Tuesday, and he's been on the mend ever since. I'm just actually waiting for a phone call from the vet. He's back in today on IV fluids. This should be the last visit in. He's been sleeping at home with us at night. It's dogs. The news that I'm most interested in this week, the thing that has been capturing my attention, and I hope capturing your attention, is what happened at Google I/O. Now, Google I/O is their big developer conference where they talk to all of their developers, and Google, like Apple, like all of the technology companies, rolls out their coolest new technology to this crowd. And this is an inside crowd. These are the people that love them, make their business, make their living off of Google. So they show them all of their best stuff. Release a new beta version of Gmail, which we've done a video on the channel, but the thing that the one demo that they showed that overshadowed everything else and caused my world to stop and for me to really take a close look at it, and I imagine for many of you as well, was Google Duplex. When they showcased a new capability that they're building into, and it's not here yet, but that they're building into the Google Assistant. Now, Google Assistant is such an important part of Google's future. It's the artificial intelligence that drives all of the devices. It's kind of this communication layer that goes into the Google Home, that goes into that goes into our smartphones when we're talking to our smartphones. Anything that we're doing that's voice-based and command-based is based on Google Assistant. It's there to theoretically to assist us in our lives, and that's what Google is doing with this product. And they showcased a phone call that Google Assistant can theoretically make in the not-too-distant future where it books an appointment for its person. It acts as an agent to book the appointment for whoever's asking it to do that. And in this case, they showed an example of it booking a haircut. And there's some lateral thinking that's involved here. It's not just linear, but there's some decision-making that has to happen on the part of the software. That is impressive. But what's scary is the presentation. If you haven't seen it, I'm just going to play you a little snippet of it so you get a feel for this. Now, this is a computer. This is basically technology talking to a real live person. Now, I don't know if the person knew that this was a computer talking to them or not, but I know that if I received this phone call, I wouldn't know that it wasn't a person on the other end. Have a look.
Ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
Happening out for you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Now, the crowd went wild. I only showed you part of it. It goes on for a few more minutes. And it displays, as I say, some really incredible technical capability for lateral thinking. At one point, the person says, well, I need to know what type of appointment. And the computer pauses for a second and says, it's just a woman's haircut. So it parsed out what was the appropriate response just from that. It was mind-blowing from a technical perspective. But from what sent chills down my back and caused much furor online was the insertion of the ums and the human affectations. Is that the proper word? That we have, that I just had when I went, that I just had. That is something that is very human to do. It's not very computer and technology to do. Computers and technology don't go, is that the right word? They don't stumble over the words, like I do in my words. Are they going to be building stuttering into this to make it seem more human? I mean, the bottom line is that can fool you as is, and they haven't even rolled out the product yet. How good is it going to be, good in quotation marks, at mimicking human life? Oh, that would be the pet clinic. Gonna have to hold for a sec. Steve Dotto. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Bye now.
Take care. Bye.
All right, now let's get back to Duplex. So we see this incredible technical capability of this now machine that can impersonate and mimic a human being and convince us that there's a human on the other end of the line when in fact it is a computer. This isn't a VIR system, press 1 for more information. No. This seems to be a person. Oh my gosh, the moral and just the implications of what this can represent are terrifying. And there was an immediate online backlash. People saying, what the heck is going on? Who is going to tell us, or what rules are going to be in place to protect us from this sort of technology? Not that we need protection from a perspective of it's a cool technology that enables productivity, but it being abused. How are we going to know that we're talking? Do we have the right to know that we're talking to a real person? And is this Google's responsibility? Is this the government's responsibility? Whose responsibility is it? And let's not just forget for a moment that Google's just one company. Other people are developing this technology as well. And so that we're going to have multiple providers of the technology that will give people the ability to be able to create a artificial intelligence that can make phone calls, that can talk to you, that can engage in conversations, that can convince you, can sell to you, can cajole you, can warn you, can threaten you, can do all sorts of things. And it seems to be a real person. Think about what could be done with that. We're just coming out of this fake news thing. We haven't even figured that out yet. We can't figure out how to tell if a post is real, and we can Google it. Can you imagine having to instantly make a determination, not just whether or not the phone call, whether the information that somebody is delivering to you by voice is real, is true, is legitimate, but whether or not they are a legitimate human entity on the other end of the line. Oh, it's Google came out and said that they will make sure that there is some sort of mechanism in place that identifies all of these bots as they connect with us. Great. Do you believe them? Do you think that people are going to enact it? Do you think that people are going to find a way around it? I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a lot concerned, obviously. And you should be too. But we can't just wallow in fear with this. No, this, if anything, is a clarion call that tells us all we need to remain engaged. We need to ask questions. We need to make our voices heard in this conversation. Because the public has to, the community, the society, the online society has to engage in the conversation, and we've got to set the standards. We've got to tell Google what's appropriate. We've got to tell them what we expect in no uncertain terms, and we've got to make sure that we find ways to make that sure that that's enacted. We can't trust Google. We can't trust Facebook. We can't trust Apple to create technology that's in our best interest. They've proven that they aren't trustworthy in that aspect. It's up to us, which is why, especially baby boomers, all my boomer community out there, we need to make sure that we engage even more now in technology, because if we're not engaged, then we're just drifting and we have no idea what's happening, and we're just going to continue to be shocked and scared and terrified, and we're going to pull farther and farther into a hole. I think we have to come out of those holes and we have to engage in the conversation. So I want your voices on this. I want to hear what you have to think about. I want to hear what you think about it. I'd love to hear your comments below and suggestions on what we should be doing about it. I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that says we should just be shutting down and unplugging, that is not the answer, because it's not practical. I'm not sure there is a practical solution, but that is not practical. That's it. I think I'm done. I wish I had more topics to talk about this week, but this duplex thing has really captured my imagination, captured my fear. It's set me back on my heels, and I don't have an answer, but I'm glad that we have a forum like this that we can engage in a conversation and ask the question. That's it. Till next time. Looking forward to your comments below. Have fun storming a castle.